Winner. I'm just going to call this one. I'm going to call this one, see if you guys agree with me. Winner, Drake Maye. All right. So you were just talking about offensive linemen that fire people up. I don't know if you saw Will Campbell standing on stage saying he's going to die for him. Like he's ready to die for his quarterback. And then you get TreyVeon Henderson. You get Kyle Williams, a wide receiver that a lot of people like. You also get a center. Like you're addressing everything. Like I just feel like Mike Vrabel came in and was like that year off he spent, he was getting fired up to just hit home run after home run after home run. This was a good draft for Drake Maye in my mind, C-Rob.
I think it was a good draft for the Patriots overall, really, realistically. Yeah. And here's the thing about Campbell. I initially, you know how we do the little emojis? I did the kind of wincing emoji for him because of the fact that I do think the arm length stuff matters and all that. And I know people say, hey, we didn't see it on tape. It wasn't prevalent on tape and readily obvious that he was having, significant problems with longer arm players leading into this draft. But when I heard him talk, as you said, he made those comments about what he's willing to do and riding for Drake Maye. I was like, okay, he's got the mentality I want. That's for sure. So if he turns out to be great at left tackle, awesome. If he turns out to be pretty adequate, awesome. If he turns out to be great at guard, if you move him inside, that's great. So I was like, I just stared at their draft. I'm like, what starters did they get ultimately in this draft? I think Campbell's a starter. TreyVeon Henderson, huge, big play profile, speed. And by the way, he's great in pass protection, which is a way you help your offensive line to keep a running back on the field who can block for you. Think like Zeke Elliott in pass protection. That's how good he is in pass pro at the running back spot. So you're really enhancing not only the big play explosion aspect, but you're helping your offensive line. I think Kyle Williams, another explosive guy, wide receiver, big speed, huge downfield threat for them, is going to be a starter, I believe. Jared Wilson, the best center in the draft, I would argue. And so I'm like, okay, you got two offensive line starters. You got a running back who can block and make huge plays for you. And you got a wide receiver who's a deep threat, explosive type of guy. And then when you get further in the draft, one name that popped up to me that I thought was interesting, they took that LSU edge, Bradyn Swinson. Swinson, like when I talked to those 10 teams and I said, where do you see where the edges come off or whatever? Swinson was a guy who I think 8 of the 10 said was a 3rd round pick, and they got him in the 5th, and they need an edge. And, and I think teams believe he can develop into a solid starter at the edge position. So if you're getting a starting edge, 2 offensive tackles who can start for you, and 2 explosive pieces, skill position pieces on offense, it's ungodly draft for you. Now let's see if they actually pull it off. I kind of liked their draft last year and it was horrible. So
yeah. The Kyle Williams pick leads you to believe that J. Polk isn't Law Patriot depth chart, right? Like, stuff like
Javon
that. But
Baker, probably not.
4 top 100 picks on the offense. That's awesome. And with the Will Campbell thing and the arms, that is a thing, right? But at the same time, I'm like, this dude played at LSU. You're playing against basically NFL talent already. And he was awesome from his first day as a freshman on. So I don't think Will Campbell's going to have any problems. I really like how the Patriots went about their whole offseason. They spent a ton of money on defense, and then they used the draft for offense. That's kind of the way you do it. They needed to fill so many holes, and somehow they filled a bunch of them. First through the cap space, second through the draft capital. Yeah, the Patriots, who needed an infusion of talent more than any other team in the NFL, probably got a lot of guys who are going to be on the field making a big impact week one on.
I have a T-shirt in my house that says T-Rex hates pinatas, and he's trying to get his tiny arms. That's all I think about now every time with Will Campbell, the way we talk about him. It is just a massive, massive human being that would pick me up with one hand and just throw me across the room, and I'm out here just T-Rexing him. All right,